Hello, Art Foundations. I'm going to go over the process that is expected for your asynchronous work for this week. And I gave you a few of these colored sheets of paper. You're going to need a pencil. It can be an HB, 2B, or 4B. And you're also going to need the scissors that is in your art power pack. You're going to need your sketchbook as well. And I know this week we started with talking about negative shapes. So we've completed this in class. By the time you see this video, this will be completed in your sketchbook. So the very next page after that, you are going to trace 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll do a fifth one down here, 5. So you're going to trace 5 sections where you will be doing some thumbnail sketches that you are just going to observe the negative space, okay? What you're going to observe is your scissors. And the reason why I gave you color paper is so that so that you could see the negative shapes that are appearing. We're not drawing the scissors. We are drawing the shapes that are in the negative areas, okay? So for this one, I'm going to set up my, my scissors any way I want, okay, against that color background. And I am going to draw this shape right here. I'm going to draw this shape right here. And I'm doing this from observation. And you might be thinking, I'm going to get one over on her and I'm just going to trace this. You can't, because it's really obvious when you do. And you're doing yourself a disservice in terms of observing and in terms of differentiating negative space. All right, so with that said, I'm going to observe this shape right here. And again, the reason why we're doing it on color paper is so that this could provide some contrast for you. Oh, and I've got that little... All right, so this is that shape. This is this shape. I have to draw this shape right here. I'm going to draw this shape right here. I've got that little bump right there. You could take this little plastic piece off of the scissors. And then I'm going to do this little shape right here. Okay. Now I'm going to fill in the negative with my pencil. If you want to use one of your color pencils, just to be festive and fun and kooky, well, then you do that. All right, but for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to fill this in. You have to keep in mind, it's not like I drew the scissors. I just drew the shapes around it. So we're going to have a series of silhouettes of different parts of this object. Now you could do all of the drawings first and then go back and kind of like shade them in. That's up to you. I'm not too worried about how this is filled in as much as the accuracy of how you are drawing the shapes, right? Because that's what's important. You're honing in on your observational drawing skills. We've already done modified contour. Now again, we're shifting the way that we think. All right. So for that one. Now, what if, here, this one's tiny. So what if I don't even put the whole thing in there? What if I just draw this shape, this, and this? I'm going to kind of air draw this first. Again, I'm drawing this shape right here. Now I'm going to fill it in. So when you're finished with this, you're going to have a series of these little abstractions. What this is going to do is force your right brain to continue to make that shift. And like we discussed in class earlier this week, the positive and the negative are symbiotic. So if I don't draw these shapes right, I don't draw the silhouette of my scissors correctly. All right. Now I'm going to continue to find 3 more compositions. Again, just drawing the negative spaces. All right, so I'm just finishing up my last composition. It's a pretty simple one. If I really think about it, I only had 1, 2, 3 shapes that were relatively unweird to draw. So that was kind of nice. All right. So I've got 5 thumbnails that just represent negative shapes around said scissors. All right. Some things not to do. Don't trace it. All right. It's really obvious when you do. It's cheating. And you're doing yourself a disservice, like I mentioned earlier. You're not really learning kind of how to see those edges in the space around it. You don't need to draw scissors. So this is like my representation of like a little schematic scissors. You don't need to do any details. Okay, so I don't need to see any crisscross. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see this little plastic part. I don't need to see the words. So this is not what we're doing. Just drawing the areas around it. No crossover lines. So if you are looking at these crossovers that are happening, that means that you're not focused on just the negative space. They should be these silhouettes, all right? And I can't think of a 5th knot right now. I think maybe the 5th knot would be to not do this. Okay. All right, so to finish this up, you are going to take a photograph, high quality photograph. My lighting is a little bit questionable right now. You are going to submit that image to Canvas, and you are going to be done. And then you're going to get the confetti. And that's real confetti. It's just paper I cut up. All right, I got to clean this up. Any questions, let me know. But that's your asynchronous work for the week.